If you are interested in getting tested, NVIDIA does offer COVID tests at no cost, and people can get their results in about a day or two. The state also has a list of locations. You can just scan the QR code right here on your screen to find a spot nearest you. And the numbers across the nation seeing similar trends. For that, we turn to ABC's Elwin Lopez.
The Delta variant continues to spread across the country. 100,000 cases Saturday for the first time since early February. Hospitalizations also on the rise. Austin, Texas, a city of 2.3 million people, has less than 10 ICU beds available.
Those people who aren't vaccinated, they're being overwhelmed by this and having to go into our ICUs.
Now growing concerns for children, many not yet eligible for the vaccine. In Louisiana, a Baton Rouge Children's Hospital treating 11 kids with COVID. In intensive care.
Some of them need breathing tubes, and some of them, even just putting the breathing tubes in is not enough.
And Florida now seeing its highest single-day increase in cases since the pandemic began. Health officials in Palm Beach County say many getting vaccinated Saturday at a local event were young people.
COVID's really heating up, and I think it's really important that my kids get vaccinated.
Dr. Anthony Fauci doesn't think we'll see a repeat of the lockdowns we saw last year, but warns things will get worse.
The unvaccinated, by not being vaccinated, allowing the propagation and the spread of the outbreak, which ultimately impacts everyone.
The U.S. is seeing some positive trends in getting people to roll up their sleeves. On Saturday, the White House counted 4 straight days of more than 700,000 vaccines being administered.
Now to our other big story. After a couple weeks of storms and heavy rain, things quieting down a bit. Jorge, the question I have, does that mean the heat's coming back?
It is going to come back. In fact, we got a taste of it today, Zach, with a high officially at 105 at Sky Harbor. Although our graphic is showing 104, that was right before it hit 105, right around 5 o'clock. So we did hit 105 earlier, but the hot spot was to the west, and Yuma and Lower City both reaching 109 today. Everyone else generally in the 80s and 90s, low 100s, although Flagstaff only got to 79 today, thanks to some rain they had earlier this evening. Desert Downward showing generally quiet conditions, a few isolated thunderstorms, and a couple of flash flood warnings still in effect out by the Payson area until at least 11 o'clock tonight, with one lone storm just to the south of there, moving to the south, but weakening, and even a few isolated storms around Heber, and a flash flood warning near Sibique until 11:15 this evening, and a few isolated storms down in southern Arizona too. Now, as far as futurecast for the next couple of days, a couple of storms still potentially up in the high country and along the rim, but most of us looking high and dry and hot for the next several days. Talking about those warming temperatures we're anticipating, and our next chance of rain coming up in your most accurate forecast.
Jorge, thanks. And a traffic alert we want to tell you about right now. The I-10 westbound at the mini stack is backed up right now because of a crash. You can see a live look there. Officials tell us a car ran into a semi-truck. So far, no word on injuries. All lanes except the HOV lane are blocked right now. The new details tonight.
I don't even know what
about
that
hiker
pet
who
is
died on
above me.
Camelback Mountain Friday. A GoFundMe account for the woman is identifying her as 31-year-old Angela Tremonte. The Boston native went hiking with a man she was visiting when she decided to turn back. He kept on hiking up, but she never made it down. Search teams finding her body near a home at the base of Camelback. Firefighters believe she was trying to get someone's attention in that area before she collapsed from dehydration.
Uplifting Arizona, one man going above and beyond to remember his late father. Rich Lieberman's dad was a Vietnam vet who was from Phoenix. So Rich fixed up an old Army Jeep that his dad had been working on. He finished it up and drove it across country, even brought his son along for the ride. With the last stop at his father's old home, taking time out to visit his father's friends.
His buddies used to tease him, when are we going to see him running? And he never got running. So we shipped it back to Virginia and restored it as a tribute to him and his 2 tours to Vietnam. You know, it's more about getting my dad's story out there. It's I get talked about all the time. I talk about, we got stopped in Kansas one time at a restaurant, and, you know, we're talking about the guy's dad, but we're also talking about my dad. So my dad's story is getting out there by driving dirt.
And many generations impacted by this. Rich says this car is a source of joy for his son, too.
Now to the Tokyo Olympics. Valley native Michaela Skinner taking home silver in the women's individual vault. Skinner, of course, is from Gilbert and replaced Simone Biles after she dropped out of the competition. So far, the U.S. is bringing home 60 medals from Tokyo and counting.
Oh.
Dozens of schools are heading back to in-person learning this week, some in just hours. So we are taking a closer look at what's next when it comes to mask mandates on campus.
And we know going back to school wouldn't be complete without some supplies and maybe some new clothes. A look at how some kids were able to do that with some Valley bloggers.
We're outnumbered.
BC15 Mornings has the latest on COVID safety as our health insiders track the Delta variant. Plus, we're helping you stay prepared for monsoon storms.
All the hazards you'll need to be aware of.
Join us weekdays for ABC 15 Mornings. Summer, time to relax and take it easy.
The only thing easier than this would be to call Express Flooring.
Call today and save up to 77.5% off new flooring. And we'll even move your heavy furniture for free.
Creighton University's new health sciences campus in Phoenix is opening this fall. Creighton students will learn in a team-based environment that includes advanced simulation rooms and high-tech classrooms. To learn more, visit creighton.edu/Phoenix.
Looks like it's time to trade. Because it's trade month at your local Ford dealers. Get more cash for your eligible trade-in. Any brand, any model, all month long. Get trade assist cash on top of what your eligible vehicle is worth and trade up to a new Ford SUV. Your trade-in is worth more than you think. Only during trade month. Get Explorer with 1.9% financing for 60 months plus 500 retail trade assist and 1,000 retail order bonus cash. Only at your Desert Ford dealers.
Savory wings and tasty appetizers.
New and classic games everyone loves.
The birthday celebration.
They're all made to be shared.
And you'll have plenty to share with our Extra XL deal.
2 extra large, one-topping handcrafted pizzas for a tasty $24.99. Peter Pepper Pizza. Pizza made fresh. Families made happy.
We almost got it. Alright, that'll do. We're going back to town now.
With the most standard safety features in its class.
Nice job, Mom.
Thanks. The fiercely reimagined Nissan Rogue.
Nice.
Download 219 per month lease on Rogue or get 0% financing for up to 72 months on 13 models.
This year, back to school isn't quite back to normal, and our ABC 15 Education Experts team is here for you, taking a deeper look at the issues. ABC 15 Arizona, your go-to for everything back to school.
Well, it's an important week tracking the state of education. The biggest wave of students in Maricopa County heading back to class. Nearly 40 districts and charters set to kick off the new year in the coming days. There's a lot of excitement, but also some frustration and concern. Danielle, I know you've been talking with school leaders all weekend, and a lot of parents wondering what's next.
Yeah, that's right. Throughout this week, hundreds of thousands of students, they will be returning to in-person learning amid conflicting guidance for safety protocols and a surge in COVID cases. I want to show you the latest data on the Maricopa County Schools dashboard. You can see all that red. It shows nearly all districts in high transmission. And one area that was hit especially hard throughout last year was Phoenix and those 14 or so public districts serving that city. Now, on Friday, we learned from the superintendent that Phoenix Union High School District will require masks on campus regardless of vaccination status. They start tomorrow. Well, now we know that Phoenix Elementary's governing board will be seeking legal advice regarding this issue. And earlier today, I spoke with Dr. Michael Robert, who's the superintendent of the Osborne District. They, too, will be meeting with an attorney to discuss their mitigation strategies. But as of now, he says they're doing what they know they can, requiring masks on buses and strongly recommending them in classrooms when students return August 9th.
Everybody needs to take into consideration their local context. We have responsibilities to protecting the public health. We also have responsibilities to our local communities and to making the right decisions to, all the things that I have to consider as a superintendent, including district liabilities and being a good steward of this district.
So a lot of districts are actually requiring masks on buses because that falls under federal transportation requirements. We know there's a lot to follow, so we'll be updating our website, abc15.com/schools, as soon as new info comes in. But bottom line, Zach, we're just reminding people to check in with their school, their districts, just so they have a better idea of what to expect when their kids head back to school.
Incredibly important, Danielle. Thanks. Well, heading back to school means getting those new backpacks and other important school supplies. But all those costs add up quickly, which is why Walmart is hosting some back-to-school events across the valley this week. They're giving away bags of free school supplies and samples. Now, the back-to-school events are taking place at a variety of stores from 11 a.m. until 5 p.m. Desert Ridge Marketplace also hosting a back-to-school event on August 5th. That runs from 6 to 8. There will also be live entertainment, prizes, a supply drive for the Boys and Girls Club, and goodie bags for the first 100 guests.
You're probably wondering
New at 10, Valley students teaming up with Phoenix police officers to tackle some of their back-to-school shopping. Dick's Sporting Goods and the Boys and Girls Club also part of this effort. Those kids got school supplies, new clothes, and other items to set them up for success. And Jorge, I know as parents and kids are picking out their outfits for tomorrow, the weather is always a big factor.
Yeah, and one thing I'll recommend for the kids waiting at the bus stop, take some water because it's going to be very muggy to start off Monday morning. With temperatures, though, comfortable in the mid-80s, but you factor in those dew points in the 60s. Yeah, it's going to feel yucky up there, at least in the early morning. Lower 90s by 8, and by 10 o'clock, we're already heating up in the mid-90s, and that's a sign of things to come over the next several days. Now, some of us in Arizona tonight got lucky with a few storms, some of which produced some flash flooding, though, in areas like Gila County, also north of Flagstaff. But most of the state pretty dry to end the weekend. Now, as far as the forecast for the next several days, well, from now through at least Thursday, we'll be under the influence of this ridge of high pressure. What that's going to do is not really allow for storms to develop here in the valley for much of the state. In fact, this will allow those temperatures to really skyrocket as early as tomorrow, but especially Tuesday and Wednesday with highs anywhere from 110 to 111 those 2 days. And we haven't hit 110 since at least the early part of July, so we've got a nice little break thanks to the clouds and storms. That will not be the case, though, until potentially Friday when that chance of rain does return. The other concern, poor air quality. Ozone will be building because the air will be stagnant and hot. So we are going to be under an ozone high advisory Monday with watches Tuesday through Thursday. So if you suffer from asthma or COPD, limit your time outdoors too. In fact, it's warm out there right now. 98 degrees at Sky Harbor, pushing the southeast at 7. Lows tonight in the 50s up in the high country and along the rim. 70s in Sedona. The lows in the 80s and 90s across the lower desert. Highs tomorrow climbing anywhere from 81 in Flagstaff to 95 in Sedona, 99 in Kingman, 108 here in the valley, and 114 in Lake Havasu. So here's that 7-day forecast. Temperatures will be heating up almost each and every day and staying dry through at least Thursday with lows in the 80s, and then that chance of rain returns gradually by Friday with better opportunities by next weekend with highs eventually in the upper 90s by next Sunday. We're on the eve of NBA free agency opening up Chris Paul campaign. What's up to GM James Jones had to say about the future point guard? It's coming up next in sports.
Celebrating 35 years of performance with our most thrilling lineup. Don't miss limited time offers at the Acura Summer Photo Shoot going on now. Visit your Valley Acura dealer for attractive offers on the RDX.
you guys have been our allies for a long time.
Announcing our new BSG Jet Fork-Off clubs, giving you everything we know about the science of sexy, that's incredible sound and feel, unbelievable forgiveness, explosive distance, and of course, drop-dead sexy looks. Come on, baby! Jet Forks are the best performing golf clubs we've ever made. Learn more at BSG.com. BSG, nobody makes golf clubs the way we are, period.
Yeah? What?
Container here with your chicken strip. Potatoes and bread.
Yeah?
I know you like the chicken strip, but what about the potatoes and bread in it?
Potatoes, yes. Bread, probably not.
check FanDuel lately?
Sammy win by home plate. 1 out to go.
More ways to win. Looking to make something here.
More ways throws.
Win shoots.
It's us. More ways to win.
That's what I'm telling you. There are more ways to win with FanDuel.
Unlock a summer of possibilities in a new Chevy. Expand your options and your perspective. Find your next adventure in a new Chevy.
Enjoy the open road and make no monthly payments for the rest of the summer on select popular Chevy SUVs. Plus, get interest-free financing for 72 months when you finance with GM Financial. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
Get a minute,
So
can
you're
you,
buying this house. What do you think?
water
Maybe
it?
me. Too much hassle. Control freak me. We leave nothing to chance. We get a cash offer from Zillow.
Huh?
Clicker.
Got water?
In a minute, can you put some water in?
In the fridge?
No.
I love the white little suburbia.
I guess you guys are worried about competitive bids. Don't be. Our Fairway Advantage pre-approval is so powerful, it can even compete against cash.
So, we will triumph.
Didn't say we'd get you home.
We are forever indebted to you, my lord.
By the way, the funny thing was today when they told me to come in early for today was to do something. When I came in, the thing I needed to do was actually already done. So,
Visit your Valley Acura dealer for attractive offers on the TLX.
so they basically just got me in now we're early.
ABC 15 Sports. Sponsored by Sanderson
Let the madness of NBA free agency soon commence. Chris Paul had until midnight Eastern to decide whether or not to opt in or out of his $44.2 million player option for next season. According to the Athletic Sham Sharania, CP3 has opted out and is now an unrestricted free agent, which was entirely expected with Paul seeking a multi-year contract. And with the free agency negotiating period opening up tomorrow afternoon, 3 o'clock our time, James Jones is going to be on the horn trying to lock down his point guard and keep the Suns contender together. Here was the Suns GM earlier this week on Paul.
I think what we have is enticing. I think he wants to be able to right now. So I'm confident that we'll be able to have a conversation hopefully in the coming days that will make everyone know.
Well, hello, free agency. Cam Payne also has his eyes on the market as a UFA. Now, Payne's journey from the NBA to China to the G League and back to the NBA, where he, of course, played a vital role getting the Suns to the finals. He has earned his money. Hopefully that is with the Suns, as Payne not only became a fan favorite, but just for the sake of continuity and finishing what they started.
The way he played this year was phenomenal. I couldn't be happy with the Cam in a row. The team we all enjoyed his success. He was a kid that was playing his way back into the position which is a really good quality rotation to move further. And so we're excited for what he's done. Looking forward to talking to him soon.
Alright, sorry YouTube, I'm back.
Because we know how valuable he was for us, and I still believe there's a lot more to his game that coach can unlock.
James Jones going to be busy on the phone with both his point guards tomorrow. A wild week ahead. Signings can become official on Friday morning. All right, let's check in on the first week of Cardinals training camp. This is the time of the year where all 32 teams and their fan bases think, hey, maybe this is our year. You know, it's hard to react to much from the first few days of training camp as the players are just trying to shake off the cobwebs and really they're not in pads yet. But I will say this, Kyler Murray's new receivers, they've been the standouts through the first 4 practices. Second-round pick Rondale Moore has had a couple of touchdowns in 7-on-7. And veteran A.J. Green looking like he's already on the same page with Kyler.
This being year 3, known offense, damn near like back of my hand, being able to, tell these guys what I'm looking for, and, veteran receivers, understanding there you kind of have to feel for it. We just got to be on the same page, and then having the young guys with the talent. Yeah, I think the sky's the limit for us.
JJ and Rondell, two guys that are new to the system, I think are learning each day. I think as they get a better understanding of the system, things will slow down and they'll be even playing at a faster clip, which is exciting to see. They made some plays, and they just got to keep studying and keep learning our playbook.
Cards had an off day today. They will return to practice tomorrow afternoon at State Farm Stadium from 1 to 3. All practices this week are going to be open to the public. To the Diamond we go. That look from Torey Lovello about sums up today against the Dodgers and really the season for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Starter Caleb Smith chased after throwing 70 pitches in less than 2 full innings. 10 of those pitches came courtesy of a lengthy Albert Pujols at bat that ended with a 3-run double. Walking in routes, wild pitches. It was all on display for the D-backs today. And Justin Turner's 3-run shot in the 7th put the finishing touches on a Dodger 13-0 rout. They take the rubber match at Chase Field. The gauntlet of an NOS stretch continues with the D-backs hosting the league best Giants for a 4-game series. That starts tomorrow.
Oh, I thought you were talking to me, my bad.
Are against San Francisco and the San Diego Padres.
I've always wanted a family. I met my wife and she had 3 little girls. I'm very, very blessed.
The ultimate girl dad making big sacrifices to put family first, and now his daughters are showing their gratitude with a life-changing surprise.
We're gonna make it.
9 months. You had 9 months to get the garage door fixed.
Call today and get $53 off any service or repair. I'm Deborah Black. I'm here to ask for your help to save lives during this opioid crisis. Individuals who have overdosed are being left to die because those around them are afraid to call for help. Arizona's Good Samaritan law protects those who call 911 when they are present during an overdose. On behalf of law enforcement, please make that emergency call. You will not be arrested. You plus naloxone are a combination that will save lives in Arizona.
At SafeLight, we have service the way you need it. So when you have auto glass damage in Arizona, SafeLight is here for you.
Bring your car to us, or we can come to you.
Whether you're hiking at Camelback Mountain or here in Scottsdale, wherever you are, SafeLight's here for you. All over Arizona.
You can even see when we're on our way. That's service on your time.
Unlock a summer of possibilities in a new Chevy. Expand your options and your perspective. Find your next adventure in a new Chevy.
Pay no monthly payments for the rest of the summer on all Silverado 1500 Coupe pickups. Plus, get 2.49% financing for 72 months. And get $27.50 total value on this Silverado All-Star Z71.
Well, YouTube, this is going to end the stream too. Until next time, stay safe until the machine take it.
I guess you guys are worried about competitive bids. Don't be. Our Fairway Advantage pre-approval is so powerful, we can even compete against cash.
So we will triumph.
You'd say we'd get you home.
We are forever indebted to you, my lord.
Honey, you're being weak.
Get started with Fairway at home.com.
A return to normalcy. Could it be? No more empty spots in Kennedy parking lots. Then untie the knots, finish the plot.
Alright, what do we watch while we eat?